In a world filled with screens and distractions, we invite you to reconnect with the natural world around you. Welcome to Nature Bound, a podcast dedicated to unpacking the intrinsic bond between humans and nature. We'll uncover the benefits of spending time outdoors, including how a nature-centric lifestyle can improve your mental health, elevate your leadership skills, and unleash your creativity. And now here's your host, outdoor enthusiast, and renowned author of the 7 Principles of the Magic Rock, Emanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Nature Bound. I'm Emanuel Rose, and today I'm sitting down with Helena Guglielmino, who is a dedicated writer and outdoor enthusiast, also from Reno, Nevada. Helena has transitioned from a successful marketing career to focus on her passion for creative storytelling. She has penned the book Urban Trails Reno and contributes insightful articles on adventure, environmentalism, and sustainability to many well-respected platforms, including the Yoga Journal and Outdoors. Helena's work reflects a deep connection to nature and a commitment to sharing authentic experiences that inspire us to appreciate and protect our environment. Join me as we explore her journey, her love for the outdoors, and we'll talk a little bit about the Outdoor Writers Association also. Hello, Helena. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I wish that I was outside right now instead of here behind the computer since it's so nice.
It is. It's a beautiful day outside today.
It is. It's been a wild kind of warm winter, I think, so far.
Yeah, unfortunately. I would love to see some more snow out there, but take what we
It's
get, right?
it's coming, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, what was the seminal moment that had you transition from being in marketing and then going and deciding to be full time into your passion of writing in the outdoors?
Yeah, I mean, I had wanted to write since I graduated college. I took a journalism class my last semester, and at that point, I was like, I can't continue doing school. I have to continue with my business degree at this point and just graduate and get out of here. Um, but after college, I was in marketing for a few years and then found the Outdoor Writers Association of America, and through them, ran an internship. And I feel like that really got me started on my career.
That's cool. And what was one of the first pieces that you did after you made that transition?
Yeah, one of the first pieces is actually a piece I wrote for the Outdoor Writers Association, their publication, um, Outdoors Unlimited, and it was called Sustainability Revolution. And it talked about actually this woman I went to college with who had a green waste business, and she had this model for a few years where she would try to contain all of her waste into a single mason jar. So it was just a really interesting story to kind of dive into examining how much we waste and examining sort of the greenwashing of sustainable companies now. Um, so that got out there. And then after the internship, came to one of the OWAA conferences and met a bunch of people, and through them got to work with a company called Road Trippers, and got to write a really fun piece about doing a Northern Nevada road trip. So
Nice.
getting to visit so many cool places like the Dark Sky Sanctuary and ghost towns and hot springs and Great Basin National Park, and created this little guide for people to explore some of these places that aren't seen very often.
Yeah, that's cool. I spent about a week in Jarbridge this last fall, and it was so awesome to spend whatever it is 50 miles on gravel road to get there.
Yeah, there's yeah, you go 10 miles or whatever, but it takes you 45 minutes because you're going on on old gravel roads. But it's really cool because you kind of have the place to yourself when you're out there, and you really get to sit and be in the environment, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that people don't realize about Nevada is just how much wilderness space is available to us. I mean, Jarbridge is 7 hours from Reno,
Yeah.
and a lot of that you're driving. You've got a lot of space that you're driving through to get even just to get there. So it's a pretty cool area to have access to.
Yeah, yeah, I've come to grow a huge appreciation for Nevada, in the time that I've lived here. I moved here in 2018, grew up in California, and I I love it. Honestly, there's so much access here, so much insane access, especially like close to Reno, close to the city. You can drive 15 minutes in any direction and be on a trail and feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, which is amazing. And yeah, to have a state that 80% of the land is dedicated to, public land is amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's great to have access to all of that, and then you go just a little bit across the border into California, and you got some really great forests over there too. So we really have the best of all the access for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see. How many trails did you review for your book about hiking in Reno, Urban Trails Reno?
Yeah, yeah. So, 42 trails made it into the book.
Wow.
But I started my original proposal to Mountaineers Books was, there were something like 74 trails, and the editor was like, "No, this has to be pocket size. It has to be small enough for people to take out there. We do have a word limit on this." So, had to cut it down a bit, and I hiked quite a few more trails than what ended up in the book, itself, and just sort of whittled it down based on some of the criteria, my editor and I came up with for what to include in the book.
What was the criteria? Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, so Mountaineers created this series, Urban Trails, to really capture people who aren't necessarily outdoorsy, who might not consider themselves hikers. And so they wanted to include trails that were beginner friendly. They weren't so intimidating, didn't have crazy steep approaches,
Right.
or were super long. So that narrowed it down quite a bit. And then for myself, I really wanted each trail to kind of touch a neighborhood, come out of a neighborhood if it could,
Hmm.
because there is such great access here in Reno. And a lot of the trails that did end up in the book, you can walk from a neighborhood, and go into these open spaces, through these trails. So that was another important part to me. I wanted everything to be as close to, the city as possible. So I made sure that there were no trails, in Truckee or in the Tahoe Basin. The farthest trails, the highest elevation trails are in, Galena, so semi-Reno-ish.
Yep.
But yeah, those were the criteria points.
I like that. And then, so you walked all 42 of them?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, that's a good assignment.
Yeah, no, I know. It doesn't really feel like work, but yeah. Yeah, I walked all of them. To create the maps that are in the book, I used a software called Caltopo I would turn it on as I'm hiking, and it would track, my route, and it would help me, was able to put notes in there, and it helped me create the trail write-ups themselves.
Nice. That's a cool thing. Let's see. And then where's the book available?
Yeah, so locally it's available. I've seen it in REI and Barnes and Noble. It's at Sierra Arts Foundation in their library or in their bookstore. Um, and then online it's available through Mountaineers Books, through Amazon, through Barnes and Noble. I've seen it on Target. So kind of a lot of places. Yeah.
Yeah. And how long ago did you publish it?
It published October of 2025. So just 2 months ago.
Oh, okay. Oh, And then, what was the length of time between when you finished writing it and you were done with it, and then it went to press?
Yeah, so I submitted my final manuscript in August of 24, and then it went to press, I think around March of 25. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so that most people don't realize how long that process is.
Yeah, yeah, they had, Mountaineers had editors come in, they had to finalize the maps and then, finalize the layout and all of these things, and it was really cool getting to be a part of that process too, getting to, like, sign off on the edits and sign off on the layout and, get to go in and see the final product while it was still in PDF form, was pretty cool, but yeah, it is quite a process.
And do you have another book that you're working on right now?
I don't know. I would love to write another book, but at the moment, no, I don't have one.
You have some articles that you're working on, though, I would guess.
Yeah, so I write the monthly outdoor column for Reno News and Review, so I do that regularly, and then, I'm a freelance writer, so I write for, whoever comes down the pipeline. Right now, I'm doing a piece for Save the Redwood League and sent out a couple other pitches this morning, so yeah.
All right. And then if when you're actually going out for yourself instead of going research an article, what's your preferred outdoor activity?
Yeah, I mean, I am a big hiker. I love hiking. So this book was super fitting to my lifestyle and my interests. In the year round here in Reno, really get awesome hiking. And then in the summers, a lot of backpacking. I spend a lot of nights outside in the summer. Um, yeah, those are probably the two biggest ones.
And what's the longest backpack you've been on?
I hiked the John Muir Trail, which is over 200 miles, and it took about 3 weeks to do. I know it took a little break in between, so had like 2 or 3 days off after a week and a half. But yeah,
Now, that's a high altitude hike, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, you cover a lot of elevation gain and a lot of elevation loss too.
Yeah,
A lot.
it's always a bummer when you got to go downhill after you
Yes.
work so hard.
I know everyone thinks the uphill is the hardest part, but it's the downhill that gets you. It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've walked Tahoe to Yosemite a couple times,
Oh,
and
nice.
so it's kind of the corollary to the John Muir. I like that part of the Sierra, and it's got really good fly fishing, and get to go walk through Yosemite, and it was, yeah, I think we did it the first time in like 19 days, so it was pretty leisurely pace.
That's one I've been wanting to do for a while, actually. That's been on my list. It looks so beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And then you actually the resupply is not that far from here. It's like 395 and 108, and so it's an easy place to cache your resupply at Kennedy Meadows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did a hike this summer from Tuolumne Meadows and followed the PCT up. I was going to do a segment of that and end at Sonora, but my plans changed it a little bit, so I had to cut it short. But even doing that section of the PCT north out of
Mhm.
Tuolumne Meadows through the park was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, the other one I think that everybody should who's a backpacker should put on their list is the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne,
Yeah.
and it's just to see the oak trees that are 200-300 years old, is a phenomenal experience.
Yeah, that's actually where my trip ended up. I ended up doing a loop, so coming around down from the PCT and then ending up hiking the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne back. And yeah, it's really cool to go through the environment because you're starting at 4,000 feet and you're going up to almost 10. So you really get the change in environment, and it's so cool to see. And the river's gorgeous.
Yeah, and all that granite, all that washed granite's amazing.
Hmm.
Well, that's cool. So let's see. Tell me about a project that it's kind of an aspirational project that you like to do when you have the time or the funding source?
Yeah. Yeah, a project I've been working on, trying to get up off the ground is actually not directly tied to a writing product, but there are these hikes that I have been trying to do called Wild Lines, and I take out people on guided hikes and we talk about writing, and we dive into creative prompts and sit down and have writing time. So kind of combining my two loves of hiking and writing. And I would love to see that really take off. I think there's such an important tie between nature and creativity. And I think being able to be outside and be away from the desk and be away from society and the pressures of, is this good enough, or who's going to read this, or whatever might come down the pipeline. I think it's such a really great place to tap into creativity when you're out in nature.
Yeah, I agree, and even just to get the inspiration and then recalculate once you get back behind the desk, right?
Yeah, yeah, just at least spark those ideas, and then, yeah, you can come back and edit and make it into the story that it needs to be once you're home, but yeah.
So that's cool. So Wild Lions is a project that you've done that a few times, or what's the story with that?
Yeah, so I've gone out on about 4 or 5 hikes, and each time just with really small groups, and it's been really fun to hear, other people, why they're out there, what they're working on, what why they want to involve hiking and writing together. It's been really fun. So there's been people who don't consider themselves writers at all, but want a creative outlet, and they come out. And there are people who are very serious writers who have books that come out because they just want to be outside and have a new experience and kind of break the routine up a little bit.
And is this something that you just do during the summertime, or is it a winter time adventure also?
Yeah, I mean, year round. I mean, here in Reno, like, we have such great weather and we have such great access that a lot of the hikes and trails that we have around the town, you can mostly hike any day of the year, barring, snow or mud. So yeah, trying to make it a year-round thing. I think it's a little bit harder once it becomes cold. People don't really want to go out as much, but I mean, here it's December and it's so warm outside.
I know it's 60 degrees today. It's amazing. Yeah, nice stuff. All right, how about bucket list trips or other places where you'd want to go and do some hiking?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would really love to do some more hiking in Eastern Nevada. The Ruby Crest Trail has been on my list for a while. I've been to the Ruby Mountains a couple times, and they're so pretty. So I'd love to take a few. I don't know. I don't remember how long it is. I think maybe 70 miles or so. So I'd love to take a few days, 5 days or so, and explore that area a little bit more. And I think there's so much over there too. I'd love to go back into Great Basin and do a lot of hiking through there.
Yeah.
That's such a cool park over there.
Yeah, there's just I actually have a project of all the wilderness areas in Nevada that I've been working on, and there's so many, and I'm trying to go and visit everything, so I have some anecdotes, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to all of them in time to finish the book or not.
I mean, it's a good problem to have. Yeah.
Yeah, so I might have to divide it up by north and south or something because there's a ton down by Vegas as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And totally different environment too down there, which is, yeah, a whole other can of worms to open up.
Indeed. Let's see. Well, if people want to get in touch with you and have a conversation about hiking in Reno or about going out and going on hikes and riding, how do they do that?
Yeah, people can get in touch with me. I have a website, Stories by Helena, HELENA.com. My Instagram is at Ghoul, GHOUL Meno, Meano. It's phonetic of my last name.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. So those are two really good places to reach me. And then wildlines.org is the website for that hiking series too. So.
All right. And what's the youngest age of somebody to go on the Wild Lines with you?
Probably somewhere in the 50s.
All right.
I have more mature clientele that's come out with me so far, but it's open to anybody, really. Yeah.
All right. Well, I really appreciate the work that you're doing, and then thanks for bringing the wilderness into the stories and taking the people out into the wilderness, Helena.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll have links in the show notes for people to be able to easily get in touch with you. And thank you very much for spending some time with me today.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. That's good. Good to be reminded that getting outside can be inspirational, and you can take your notebooks with you when you go out and spend some time reflecting. Hope you enjoyed the conversation I had with Helena, and I hope that you get outside, get away from the screens, and spend some time with nature. This is Emanuel Rose, Nature Bound.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Nature Bound. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. If you found value in today's episode, please share with someone who needs to hear it. Be sure to purchase your copy of the 7 Principles of the Magic Rock at EmanuelRose.com or on Amazon. We thank you again for joining us today, and remember to get nature bound.